what an intro. Because what an evening, everyone in the chat. Everyone's talking about it already. Yes, I am absolutely buzzing. And if you don't know why, then you clearly didn't see the Villa Arsenal score earlier. 5-2. Can we just have a moment? Villa beat Arsenal 5-2. And we need to do it. We need to wave it. We need to sing. We need to chant. We need to everything. Because the first time ever Villa have won at home against Arsenal. Okay. First time in WSL history. So there we go. And Chloe, what was your stat that you just had?
Oh, hang on, let me find it. It was.
We absolutely love
I generally do love a stat. But Arsenal haven't conceded 5 goals in a single WSL match since 2017 when they lost 5-2 to Manchester City.
And here we are, little old Villa escaping relegation, and we go and do that. Now, I know people will say Arsenal were tired, and they're in a Champions League final. I doubt Villa were even on their radar, to be honest. But you know what? It's a win, and it's 3 points.
I wonder if this will work. Can I play anything? Like if I play some music, will it come through the microphone?
It will, but also be copyrighted, and it'll get removed from YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So you can do your best impression.
So if I were to say that you could say about the Arsenal defence, you're everywhere and nowhere, baby.
Ba-ba-da-ba-da.
That's where you're at. Flying down the Bilbao hillside, Lisbon hillside. It's not Bilbao. It's
Hang on. Okay, yeah, keep going. Da-da-da-da-da.
With your champion, with your wearing the CL final hat. Then along came Jordan and Kirsty too. And your title challenge is fucked. Because Villa won 5-2 and it's
time. Ho, Aston Villa.
Oh, you know a fun stat I've got about Villa this time.
Oh, that's fantastic, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, love that. Best intro ever. Yes, Chloe, more stats. We love it.
So, Jordan Nobbs's goal was her 59th in the WSL, and she maintains her unique record of scoring in all 16 seasons of the competition. How insane is that?
What's your stat? What a stat that is.
How insane is that one? Like that's quite cool.
That's incredible. Can you repeat that one again, please?
That the strike by Jordan Nobbs was her 59th in the WSL and maintains her unique record of scoring in all 16 seasons of the competition.
And you know what we say to that? Cheers, Jordan. Thank you very much. Cheers indeed.
157 games for Arsenal, and the turns up to play against them again absolutely messes them up.
And you know what? Everyone can have the rest of the league. We're safe, and we managed it, and we did it right in the nick of time. 30th of April it took, but hey, back to back wins. Now, who thought Villa would do that at the start of the season? Now, of course, it's not all going to be about Villa tonight. I promise I will stop singing at some point. However, we do have a lot to get through, so let's get going. We do apologise for being a few minutes late. My laptop was saying I didn't have a camera attached, which, as is built in, is a bit rude, really. But we're here now. We're back. I'm going to talk all things women's football. And Mr. Arsenal podcast, I have got you all starred because he promised a little something at Villa 1. So we'll come back to that when we talk about it later. However, I can never do this by myself. Chloe, Paul, how are you both? Are we good?
I'm good.
I'm just going to whisper this because I don't want to manifest it, but we're now in a position where Arsenal have been hammered and Chelsea could hammer Mark Skinner's Man United to claim the title while we're on air.
They can, because after that loss to Villa, that won't get old. All Chelsea need now, they are currently playing, they are 24 minutes in, against United versus Chelsea. Now, all they need is a point. That's all they need. So, Man United, Mark Skinner, of course, said at the beginning, they're going to go out to do what no one else has done before and beat Chelsea. So that's what they're going to do, because, of course, United are also fighting for that final Champions League spot as well. But, of course, Chelsea are Chelsea. We can never rule them out, can we? So it's all to play for. So I've got the matchup. We will bring you those updates. And we know everyone's so good in the chat as well. So thank you to everyone who's talking already. We can't wait to bring you all of this news. Now, speaking of news, we're going to start with the good stuff, and then we'll go on to the weird, not so good stuff as well. Chloe, there was a certain contract extension earlier that was announced. Would you like to tell us who it was?
It's Claire Wheeler. Our Claire. I said last week that she needs to get a move on and put pen to paper and sign a new contract. I said it on both podcasts that I do. I said it on the Everton one and I said it on this one, that Claire Wheeler needs to sign a new contract. Her contract expires in June. Like, she needs a new one because I love her and I really like seeing her play. And I asked Brian Sorensen about her, and he also kind of agreed with me that he thinks that she's great and she's been a real valuable member of the team. So I'm like, well, get her to sign a contract then, Bri. So then they announced today, and I was literally just about to start work again. And I opened my Twitter or X page and saw and just literally screamed down the microphone to the group chat because I was so excited. I couldn't even speak. I just like, oh my God, I'm literally so excited. She signed a new 2-year contract, keeping her at the club till 2027. And I think she's great. I think she's absolutely incredible in, everything she does. I'm trying to find the quote she said, which was like my favorite thing ever on her like announcement slide thing. But I'm just here for her. I think she's so good. I think she's so talented. I think she's one of our like young players. She's 27, but she's got so much ahead of her, and she's been captain for the past 2 games as well. I found it. What she said on her announcement was, it really matters to have a club that makes you feel like family, and then not only that, but have coaches that really believe in you. And that just really struck out to me and kind of resonated with what Everton is about. Like, Everton has such that family feel, and everyone who goes there always says how much they love it and how it is that type of family setting. I mean, that's why I love the club so much as well. And hearing Claire say that about the club and how much she loves it, how much she cares about it, how they care for her just as much as she cares for them. Her signing this extension is absolutely incredible. And literally about 10 minutes before they announced it, I'd just bought a Claire Wheeler shirt. So I'm not saying I manifested it, but
hey, manifesting rather than jinxing, which is always a great thing to say as well.
Though now I just need Sarah Humgard to put her pen to paper, please, because her contract is also expiring soon. So if someone would like to buy a Sarah Humgard shirt, and so she signs a contract next, then I'm so happy. Our Claire is staying on the side.
And that's the thing with Everton, though. You've got such a good squad now. Because at the press conference that you were at the weekend, he said that he's only looking for people who are going to fit that Everton mold, aren't they? So it's not just someone who might have the stats and things like that. It's that mentality he's looking for too.
Yeah, 100%. Because lone journalist, more on that in a bit. The lone journalist herself also asked about that, like his new contract and stuff, and whether with the Friedkin Group taking over, whether we will see any new recruits in the summer. And he said he's definitely looking to recruit and get some players in, but they have to fit the mentality that Everton is about. Like, having talent is good, but he wants the Everton, and he's always kind of said this as Albright, that he likes the Everton mentality, like that family mentality, that strong mentality, the family feel. And he wants someone who fits in with the club rather than just being there for the sake of being a good player.
Just a number. Yeah, on that. Yeah, absolutely. And again, that comes back to that family feeling, doesn't it? Now, Matthew, very important question for you, Chloe. If Sarah Horngard stays, does her twin come in as a buy one get one free deal as well?
Yeah, I mean,
Shouldn't they?
I love the Horngard twins. I think that family feel with our very own twinnies. I hope so. Like Sarah and Karen, both at the contract signing. I like Sarah Horngard anyways, and there was a lot. It was quite funny on Sunday when I was there when it was Sarah who scored, but everyone was saying like it was a proper mix of the like all the apps going Sarah Horngard, Karen Horngard, Sarah Horngard, and I'm like, no, it was Sarah. It was definitely Sarah. It was definitely Sarah. I can tell it was her. And you watched the replay and it was actually Sarah, and then everyone's going, is that Sarah or Karen? And I'm like,
they look similar, but you can tell them apart if you look hard enough.
I know this. I believe how to tell the difference.
Well, then.
Because, and this comes from and Chloe's going to make me look silly now and tell me it's the other way around or something. But the reason I think I know this is because one of my side hustles, inverted commas, is when I do research for commentary and stuff, and I'll help other commentators as well, because I've somehow built up a reputation of knowing what I'm talking about, which anybody would, if they watch this once a week, I'll be screwed. But basically, you can tell the difference because they wear their hair differently.
Yeah, they do.
Karen, I think, has her hair like in a bun high up on her head, and Sarah's is low. So if you look close enough, you can tell the difference. And Chloe, you'll know this. Do they do that so people can tell them apart, or do they just do that?
Well, considering the confusion about who scored, probably to tell them apart, but also it's probably just how they've more or less always done it. Karen's also a little bit taller, but you probably won't know when they're like playing. But when they're just stood with each other, you can tell that Karen's a little bit taller than Sarah is. But also, it's quite obvious with the name being S Homeguard and K Homeguard.
See, they have
subtlety.
This doesn't always work either, does it, though? Because when we discuss Birmingham, as we know, Birmingham have 2 L Quins. Although, not for much longer.
Hey, that was my next bullet point.
Indeed, so seamless.
Let's segue nicely to that, because we had the news yesterday, I believe, that big Lou Quinn, because of how tall she is, will be hanging up her boots at the end of the season, both internationally and with Birmingham City as well. So that makes the weekend even more exciting, which again, we're going to talk about, because what a way to end your season, your footballing legendary career, if you do indeed win promotion into the WSL. I mean, what a way to end it. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Just seeing, Emma's in the chat. Villa Women is so massive. If people didn't know, that would be so bizarre, Emma. But glad you've made it. But yeah, massive.
You also remember the caps lock button works, but it took a little while. Hey, Graham!
It did make me laugh though, because as soon as it was announced that the kickoff was going to be 6 o'clock, everyone kind of went, have you tried to get through Birmingham at rush hour? From like 2 o'clock onwards, like it's gridlocked. Like, why have you done that? And Emma doesn't live that far away from the stadium. She's at, 10 minutes? And she's like, yeah, it took us an hour.
Hey, 4,500 people apparently made it.
Hey, they did. Hey, I wrote it down. Hang on.
You went very, very northeast then.
Hang on. I tweeted it. Yeah, 4,500 and something. But yeah, most of that was Arsenal fans. So I will give a massive shout out to their travelling support that are always so loud and turn up in numbers. But yeah, fantastic.
They're all travelling back to North London and the home counties and the bits that often forget the North exists, except when Arsenal play up there.
Well, Birmingham is the North, isn't it, to them? So,
depending Watford Gap is the North to them, isn't it? Like, as soon as you pass Banbury,
where the North starts. Yeah.
I was having this discussion actually because I have a good friend who is from South London,
South. Yeah.
Yes. And we were talking about. I was joking with her because she spent loads of time in Coventry, and so I was like, "So are we Northern?" And she's like, "Yeah." No, there's this really big thing called the Midlands. Like Kent is in the north if you're in Brighton, Emma. So yes.
Yeah.
Or on the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, I mean, Graham's saying anything past Waterford is north to me. No. I
Anything
will
past
have
the
to say
Thames is
though,
north to him as a Charlton fan. South
if
London.
anyone's, but this isn't about football, but if anyone wants to know about a little petty what angered many people of Gosport earlier, if anyone watches Interior Design Masters, okay, they took over some rooms at this new development in Gosport, but it was right on the waterfront. You could see the Spinnaker Tower of Portsmouth. It was across the water. But because they kept referring to it as Portsmouth, everyone got very, very angry.
What, they referred to Gosport as Portsmouth?
Yeah. Because the flats were right on the waterfront by the marina. So it's just across the water. It's not far at all. My argument was, if you said Gosport to many people, they wouldn't have a clue unless they were like Navy. But yeah, so they've just gone with Portsmouth as like the general, this is where it is. But no, the people of Gosport were not happy. Not happy at all.
I mean, I've actually played ice hockey in Gosport. It's the worst ice rink I've ever been in.
There you go. It's an interesting place. Is a good old Gosport. But as Graham says, Gosportsmouth. There you go. Sorted and done. To everyone on Facebook who was not happy about that mix. Now we'll get back to football. I do promise. We also have good news. We've got confirmation who will be joining the championship next season. So congratulations to Nottingham Forest women and Ipswich Town women who have both been promoted and will officially be back to 12 teams. So no more rest weekends for anyone. We'll be back up to our numbers, which is fantastic news.
And it is great to see because it's two teams who were really going for it, women's team.
Yes, all season.
Properly committing to it.
Yeah.
Both Ipswich don't play every game at Portman Road yet, but I would imagine they'll move that way. And Nottingham Forest, all their teams at City Ground. And...
Yeah, I was there at City Ground the other week actually, and it's just the numbers they're getting is really impressive for Tier 3. So yeah, with the championship, I can only imagine that's going to grow even bigger. So yeah, I can't wait to see
I genuinely didn't realise how close the Trent end is to the Trent. Like it's literally,
yeah,
it could fall into the river, couldn't it? Very easily. Like
yeah. Very much so. However, Nicholas in the chat has just said Ipswich have better attendances than Forest. Great. That's fantastic. If they do, that really is fantastic.
The interesting thing about Ipswich as well, I couldn't tell you, and this isn't like intentional thing, it's just Ipswich. There's no fanfare about them. But there haven't really been any athletic articles or people talking about podcasts or stuff. Everyone's focused on the battle in the north, Wolves, Burnley, Forest.
Yeah.
And Ipswich have just kind of quietly done their thing. And,
gone under the radar, haven't they?
You know, very, very narrowly on the final day of the season with that tense final day of the season where they had to avoid a 37 goal swing in goal difference.
Yeah.
Before they got the title. Hanging in the balance.
Just a slight one. Just a quick update on the Chelsea game. Myra Ramirez has been forced off injured, and Johanna Ritten-Cannerid has come on in her place. And Lucy Bronze and Millie Turner were just having an argument with the ref over a corner. So nothing's changed. Nothing much. Still 0-0. Still 0-0 at this moment. 38 minutes gone. However, as I realised earlier, the app is a minute and a half behind the actual live. So if anyone gets the news first before me, feel free to whack it in the chat. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we've done the good stuff. Should we talk about the more systemic issues in women's football? And unfortunately, we're going to start with Wolves women because we've just talked about Nottingham Forest. We've just talked about their victory. And Wolves finished in second place. Okay, second place in Tier 3. And we're pushing Forest the majority of the season. We've seen what they can do in the FA Cup. They're a good club. They're a good team. But the news broke the other day if you missed it, that despite their position, despite their history, their support from the club, etc., their application to become a championship club was never submitted. Now, there's lots going around about this. People have said, just submit the paperwork just in case, even if you think there's any doubt. Other people have said, well, it's not, just submitting paperwork, blah, blah, blah. But it's the intention behind it, isn't it? The fact that it was never filed. So, Paul, we're going to come to you first about this one because everyone was outraged, as they rightly should be, about this. But it's not some club in tier 10 that no one's heard of, that's fighting relegation, that's, that realistically don't have a chance of promotion. This is Wolves. They're good. So what do you think this comes down to? Because a lot of people are saying finances.
I mean, yeah, it's horrific. And firstly, because I know Nick's in the chat, and Nick is a Wolves fan, and a good friend of mine as well from other places, and has been very vocal. And the thing that impressed me straight away is the way Wolves fans reacted, because it wasn't just Wolves women reacting like that. Like people who were already Wolves women fans and dedicated to it. The big Wolves podcasts, the influential Wolves voices on Twitter were all instantly, this is disgusting. This is, the Wolves slogan is one pack. And the general response was basically, one pack? Is it bollocks?
Yeah.
Like, it was a proper full-on revolt.
Yeah, where's the mentality? Yeah.
Which I think says a lot about where women's football is now, and also where it is in Wolverhampton and what the women have already achieved there. Because they've built that solid fan base now. They don't even play in Wolverhampton; they play in Telford, which is a 40-minute journey away.
Yes,
and they get really impressive crowds of Wolves fans who travel, from Wolverhampton and the Black Country through to Telford. Really passionate as well. Very proud of beating West Brom as well.
Yes, of course.
Had to get that in there. You always know. I always know when Wolves are beating West Brom, even before the official Wolves account, because of all the Wolves fan base. Like, for example, and as well, the thing that impressed me is that it wasn't just English Wolves fans. Like the Baltimore Wolves account on Twitter, who are fairly one of the foreign fan groups, making a big thing of it, and going along with it, and tweeting the Wolves journalists on the local papers who don't really cover the women that much. The Wolverhampton Express and Star. There's been question about it. The Athletic Wolves writers don't really cover the women that much, even on their run. And I'm going to read you a bit here from Nick's letter, who is in the chat, who wrote for Since 71. This is an open letter to Wolves executive chairman Jeff Shee, who is not a popular figure at Wolves. He is the person who runs it on behalf of Fosun International, who, by the way, are worth $39 billion.
Oh.
The Wolves owners. And the principal figures who are the Wolves owners, one of them are worth a combined $5.3 billion. Okay? Just bear that bit in mind. So this is what Nick's wrote. It'll be slightly edited. I won't read all of it, but I'll read a decent chunk of it. Dear Jeff, news has now broken that the hierarchy at our club didn't support the promotion application for the women's team. This wasn't a team with an outside chance of promotion likely to finish fourth. This was a team that pushed Nottingham Forest all the way to the final day of the season in the title race, finishing just 3 points and a handful of goals behind them, having lost only one game. And then it goes on to explain how the Forest team is full-time and has players playing at the top end of the Championship, if not in the Super League. For example, Charlie Wellings. Wolves operating on a budget over £1 million less than Forest pushed them all the way. That grit and determination is exactly what Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club is about in both the men's and women's team. The women represented the club with pride, passion, and determination, gave us so many highs, but you didn't believe in them enough to even support the application. Worse so still, you left their manager to deliver the devastating news to the players. That isn't leadership. And again, a bit of a sidebar here, because I'm aware we might have a bunch of people who don't really follow the third tier. Wolves manager is Daniel McNamara, who is a serving RAF officer. So has spent time away where he's been deployed while managing Wolves, and Wolves have made it possible for him to manage the team. He also is hugely respected as well. And the work he's done, he's down for Manager of the Year this year in the Women's National League because of the work he's done. And basically going through, it's then, you've said before that you want to inspire young girls to pull on the gold and black shirt. It's yellow, not gold and black, but sorry, Nick. That's your Coventry City talking. The gold and black shirt, a dream of playing for Wolves women. But how is it inspiring if they know even when they win the league, they won't be rewarded? How is it inspiring for current players, many of whom are Wolves fans, by the way, to know they aren't being backed? Our club talks about one pack. The strength of the wolf is in the pack. So how does that apply here? Right now, it feels more like one pack, but only when it's good PR. I'm sure you'll argue investment in the women's team doesn't generate revenue, but as an investment company, Fosun should be looking at long-term returns. Look at what Michelle Kang has done at London City. According to Wolves accounts, the Wolves women budget is around 300k. To go full-time would require circa 1.5 to 2 million. To put that into perspective, Wolves spent £12 million on agents last season. If just 10% of agents' fees had been invested into Wolves women, they would be winning leagues and progressing up the pyramid. And again, I noticed this because I had a reasonable man appear on Twitter, reasonable man in capital letters, saying, "Oh, but what about the money?" Now, Wolves ticket revenue last year, I looked it up, in 23-24 was 128 million quid. So with 1% of their ticket revenue, they could be competing at the top end of the championship. These are the numbers we're talking about. Actually, apologies, that was their commercial revenue. But either way, you know, the amount of money we're talking here and the peanuts around it is ridiculous. And Nick finishes by saying, given the lack of honesty around this decision and the treatment of the women's team overall, why should fans believe anything the club says anymore? Trust between fans and the club was just beginning to rebuild, and now you've taken an axe to it again. Surely you're not scared of a group of strong, independent women. Only weak men are afraid of strong women. Strong men respect them. And I just think that's a superb letter, and that kind of sums up exactly why this decision is such a horrific decision. I mean, you've supported a club, Chloe, that has occasionally been accused of underinvesting in women, but the Everton owners have never just turned around and said, "Do you know what? We're not going to put any money or anything into the team." Like, how do you think Everton fans would react if, as a club, if the owners had just come out and gone, "We don't care about the women's team. Even if they win stuff, we're not going to make it possible for them to stay in the WSL."
They'd be fuming. Like, they'd be absolutely fuming, especially because the feel of Everton is a lot like the kind of one pack thing. Like, Everton is one, like, in their tweets, they barely ever use like Everton men and Everton women. They just purely put Everton. Like, it could be about anyone when they put that. And I think, well, I know for me, as like particularly a women's football fan, I'd be really annoyed if that happened to us. But in a way, we feel quite fortunate for us that our new takeover has said, yeah, we're going to invest in the women's team just as much as the men's team, which is why they're looking at the possibility of, you know, having Goodison Park as our permanent home. I mean, nothing's been confirmed or denied since the kind of rumours were taken over, but I just know we'd be annoyed and we'd be as pissed, if you will, as Wolves fans are. Because it's just not acceptable.
No, it's horrendous. And I was actually going to come on to it because it's, of course, the outrage from the fans and from everyone has been incredible to bring some light on this topic. But Chloe, for the players as well, like how would that feel if the club that you fought for tooth and nail every single week haven't shown that investment in you back? Do you think we might see a mass exodus this summer from Wolves of people saying we can do better if the club aren't willing to show it first? Maybe
I do, yeah. Like I mean, I know quite a few of the Wolves players from my time at Derby because they were in the same league once, and I can see a lot of them leaving because they deserve so much better. Like if they are going through that fight and are fighting for promotion and are like playing week in, week out, you know, traveling, because a lot of them have to travel themselves. Like they don't get a fancy coach, so a lot of them are taking like their own cars, their own transport, and forking out their own like petrol and all of that. And it's just I just don't even have the words for how awful this is. Like they should not be put in this type of situation. Like they should not have this when they've worked so hard for something, and should 100% be in the contention for promotion. Like it just should not actually be happening to them, and it's just horrific to think about.
because can you imagine if they did win and they had the celebrations and it was champions and everything, and then they had that moment of, oh, we can't actually get promoted because the paperwork didn't get submitted. And it's that lack of ambition. And Beth Merrick, who first posted it, said, you know, it's a crazy situation. Imagine fighting all season. We're absolutely devastated to find out the bid was never submitted. And, you know, this bid has been submitted in previous years. So it's not that they've never had this ambition. It was just this season they were like, no. Some people have also said, you know, well, the men's team was struggling at the beginning. So maybe it was a financial thing and that's what delayed it. Because I think the first round had to be submitted in December and then they couldn't actually, I think the final ones were then February or something like that. But yeah, it just, yeah, to have that lack of support is unbelievable. And, you know, some things that they have to agree to. So this is where this comes into it. So any third tier club interested in applying for a second tier license to be ready for promotion initially had until the 20th of December to express their intent to apply. And then the formal deadline was February. There's a whole list of criteria, but some of them are to provide evidence a club can attract average home attendances of at least 600, while also requiring clubs to commit to appointing the following staff within 1 month of the next season starting. So that's a head of women's football, marketing manager, head coach, assistant coach, physiotherapist, doctor, strength and conditioning coach, goalkeeping coach, and several safeguarding player welfare rules as well. And they're looking to, because remember, as Chloe said earlier, you know, these players aren't full-time. They're doing a lot of it off their own backs. And the WPLL are looking to increase contact hours up to 20 hours a week. So some clubs are going above and beyond that already. Some aren't even meeting that. So it's just, it's gutting, isn't it? It's absolutely heartbreaking for the players because ultimately why, you know, what are they playing for? And Danny in the chat, average home attendance this year is 699. So they're more than smashing this criteria. And you just think, what is going on that, you know, it's just not working. And Danny as well, thank you for that one. Many players were recruited from other promotion chasers or even from the championship, presumably with that ambition. Yes, absolutely. So you'd think if the recruitment was there, then why couldn't the rest follow suit? So yeah, it was just awful for this one. So yeah, it'll be an interesting summer for Wolves to see if the club do actually pull their finger out get someone who's actually interested in women's football to take charge, because the players and the fans deserve so much more than that. Now, the next bit, what we're going to do, because I wanted Paul back for this bit. So let's have a look. So tell you what, while we're waiting, let's go on to some WSL key highlights from the weekend. And then we'll come back onto some news in a little bit. So Chloe, we've got to come to you because we may have mentioned that you were the sole journalist at the Everton-Brighton match at the weekend. But unfortunately, it was a last-minute winner for Brighton, wasn't it? So if we just have a little look, in the dying moments, it was 3-2 to Brighton. But yeah, Chloe, tell us all about it, please. Everton-Brighton.
It was awful. No. Sorry to be blunt, but it wasn't actually awful. It was awful, but it wasn't actually that bad. To be fair, it was quite a good game. I feel like we played really well. I was the only journalist there, which was really fun. It was essentially 1-on-1 with our Bright and Dario after. Was very, very nervous throughout the whole thing. And nearly called it our Claire right in front of our Bright, which would have been also absolutely hilarious if I'd have just gone to him. Oh yeah, what's our can we just talk about our Claire? Claire? It's just not our Claire, it's just what I call her. Like nobody I think calls her our Claire but me. So
I think they'd embrace it. I think they'd really love that. Like, yeah, we'll just get her. We'll just get her.
Can we just talk about our Claire for a minute, Bri? Thanks. No, it was just that end was just tragic. So it was genuinely, and I kid you not, literally like the last 30 seconds of the game, like it. But I just it was horrible, and it also caused absolute havoc for my match report. I mean, I'd written it. I was praying nose about the pain of like.
Oh no!
Written it all.
Match report, yeah.
I'd written it all. It was ready to send. I had my finger hovering over the send button, and then obviously Nikita Paris gets that goal, and I have to change the entirety of my match report, including like my heading, my subheading, the bottom part of it, and like it was.
It's when you've spent all of the time being like, this is such a good headline, it's such a good heading, you might have got a pun in there, and then the last minute you've got to change everything, and it's like, no.
I've got to rephrase paragraphs and start rewriting things, and I'm like, yeah, sorry, just give me 5 minutes because this was ready to go, and then it's now not.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah. But Sarah Homeguard, our lovely S Homeguard, got off the mark after 9 minutes. Catches nice. That's nice. Crossed the ball to her, who fired it over the head of Melina Locke and into the net, not neck. Just
I was going to say that's a bit violent. It was straight into the neck.
Sorry, I don't know how to speak either. But Honoka Hayashi, who is quick, like she might seem quick on screens, but have you seen it play in person? Like, she was like a blur. It was like the Flash running past. It was incredible watching her play. She could have made it too, but her effort was blocked by Locke. Michelle Adjumang, who has been pretty impressive recently. She scored for Brighton. She fired it in at close range, just under the leg of our court, who was absolutely raging. We absolutely love watching our court play because she's probably got the most passion I think you'll ever see a goalkeeper or any player actually have. Our court's great. Like, I love her. I think she's ace, and can we keep her as well, please? She was great. But then not even 2 minutes later, after Michelle scored, we were back in front through Catches Noise. Tony Payne crossed from the right, and then the Dutch forward, our catcher, shoved it into the net. It was incredible. But this is my match report. I can say what. Like, I'm actually reading my own match report.
No, I loved it. She shoved it in the back of the net. That's fantastic.
Reading my own match report, just gotta get it in there.
Like a rugby ball.
No one else has got a match report though, so it's just solely all the words you're reading is me.
You
This
marvel.
guy. But literally 2 minutes later, after that beautiful ball from Catches Noise, WSL veteran Fran Kirby, real words, slotted it into the bottom corner of the net. We started up really well in the second half. Our Claire set up the ball beautifully for Tony Payne, but she was unable to capitalize on it. Ajiman was keen to get her second, but her shot was blocked. And then literally dying 30 seconds, the pain, the heartbreak of Nikita Paris just striking into the bottom left corner. It was...
How dare she?
But not all is lost, because next week, or this weekend, Derby Day. Everton love a Derby Day. We absolutely rule Derby Day. Although we are going to miss Meg Finnegan because she's obviously got that ACL injury. And Meg Finnegan absolutely loved. She lived for I'm acting like she's dead. She's not dead. She's got an ACL injury. She lived for a Derby Day goal, and we haven't got her. And it's really going to be tragic. But you know what? I'm going to be there. I'm taking my own cup because it ain't no way I'm drinking out of a Liverpool cup. It's going to be great. But yeah, the last 30 seconds, crying. I literally was in the press box, like, and I was trying so hard to be professional, but I just couldn't, because it was just the most tragic thing I think I've ever witnessed at a football game. Well, that's a lie. I've probably witnessed more tragic things, but
but for the moment, it was out. It was when you just think it's in the bag, and then out of nowhere, just completely comes straight from.
I was like, I'm fine with a point. Like, a point's a point at the end of the day, and that middle of the table was so. At the time of recording, or the time of the goal, that middle of the table.
Let's have a look, shall we? So, yeah.
Close.
So before tonight's results, we do know things have changed slightly. Yeah, so Everton, with Brighton in 5th, equal with Liverpool on points. So yeah, it was absolutely gutting. Emily still hasn't forgiven you for the illegal penalty.
What illegal penalty? I don't see an illegal penalty. What's that all about? I don't know anything about that.
We don't know at all. Paul, are you trying to talk to us or not?
That'll be why you couldn't hear me.
Yes.
Award-winning podcast.
I could see your mouth moving, and I was like, I don't know if he's talking to Kerry or if he's talking to us. So I'll just check.
It's all right. It's a good job I then didn't rant about the penalty, because Emily already has. I was going to.
There was no penalty incident, guys. What are you? I don't understand. What? Maybe you're watching Maybe you're watching the men play.
It definitely couldn't be Everton women. No.
Everyone plays at Goodison Park. Like, come on, guys.
I mean, repping the merch tonight. Very nice.
It?
Very nice. Chloe, Emily does have a question for you. She says, how do you feel about Mel Lawley? How she fit in? Do you want her to stay? Kind of what impact has she had on the Toffees?
I like her. I'd like her to stay. I think she's been quite good when she's come off the bench, and I think she's been quite a good player. Like, I quite like her. I mean, to be fair, I also quite liked Meg Campbell when we signed her on short term from Liverpool. But I like Mo Lawley. I mean, I think she's one of the veteran players, but she is she's still so quick. She's so good, and she's a proper good mentor to some of our younger players as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I like her. I'd be quite happy for her to stay next season. She's come off the bench quite a lot, but I'd quite like to see her start and see if she can, create that impact from the start and not just off the bench. But yeah, I like her. I'm happy to keep her.
You keep her for a little bit, just a little.
I'll keep her for a little bit. See how she fits in. If she fits that Everton mentality, or Bri,
Well, exactly that Arbor keeps talking about. So yeah, what we've done. So we've still got some news bits to do. So what we'll do, we'll finish off the WSL, and then we'll go back because we do have some quite important news bits to talk about. And Paul, I didn't want you to miss them because I know we've all got some very strong opinions. So Paul, we'll come to you next for the one that really shaped the weekend. So this was the week that Crystal Palace were officially relegated. And we, of course, had 2 fixtures heading into tonight. And these are all the key moments. So Chloe, of course, picked her Everton. But Paul, we really wanted to talk about Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 7.
Yeah.
7. Who knew West Ham could score 7 goals? But the talk of the town, Shakira herself. What just cracking performance. So yeah, Paul, if you wouldn't mind taking us through this one, please.
I mean,
Graham is very happy about the result.
Indeed. First of all, we'll deal with Crystal Palace goal, which was a Katie Stengel penalty after 80 minutes. Unfortunately, the game was, one might argue, well and truly gone then.
Yeah.
Because it was her time and she was ready for battle. And she was ready to pick herself up, dust herself off, get back in the saddle. Because it was waka this time for West Ham.
Very good. Very good.
There there's your first one. Shakira Martinez. That girl's hips don't lie, do they? Absolute she-wolf of a striker. And the reason for this, so far this season, when it was a signing, her signing couldn't be confused with Mountains. It was small and humble with all the. Sorry, I made myself laugh. I warned you, didn't I? I said in the chat it would be. I'll be working as hard as possible with this one. One might say that it was well hidden, but there's a cracking striker underneath those clothes, and.
Oh, yes, well done.
You wondered where that was going then, didn't you? So, having got all the Shakira jokes in, Crystal Palace were absolutely decimated because wherever they tried to find her, they just couldn't. Because 4 goals from Shakira Martinez, of course. First one after 18 minutes to set things off and running. 42, 45 and 62 minutes, 4 goals. And by then, the game was well and truly won. She had a quarter of West Ham's shots and scored with them all. And then Viviana Say, who again, one of the most underrated strikers in the WSL, in my opinion. And Emma Harris getting 2 late goals as well to finish things off. Former Reading player, of course, Emma Harris, who her career has lost her way a little through no fault of her own, because Reading got relegated and there was lots of talk of her being on the fringe of the England senior team. And then she got relegated with Reading and kind of signed for West Ham and was, West Ham, with all due respect to them, a bit of a black hole for some players. They go there and people kind of go, oh yeah, she's still playing.
It's a bizarre team, West Ham, isn't it? Because, like you said, it has a lot of players that people go, oh yeah, they play for them, yeah.
But they had Annick Nowen there for a while, and it's like, oh okay, these are players who are really good. They've got Anuk Denton now, who is a player who again was being highly talked of initially, and then kind of went to West Ham and faded a bit off the radar. And Viviana Say never gets mentioned despite being a France international.
Yeah, incredible player,
this season, even some of the players they've signed this season, Verena Henshaw from Austria. She's an interesting player, to say the least. Katrina Gorry, people kind of forget she exists. Rico Wecki, everyone's like, oh yeah, her, she's really good. Because she just turns up. Kirsty Smith, former Man United defender as well.
Yes.
Christy Mewis, And it's all these players who are like, oh yeah, they play for West Ham. West Ham are a pretty strong team when you think about it.
Christy Mewis, who turned up, had the most iconic moment and then announced she was pregnant. I mean, what a way to put your stamp on the WSL.
Behaviour. As they say, and I can say this because it's after 9 o'clock, queen shit. That was absolute queen shit, as the kids say.
They do indeed.
But also, I want to focus on Crystal Palace. And I particularly want to focus on Crystal Palace because much like Wolves, fans are in revolt at the treatment of Crystal Palace women's team. There is genuine, great vengeance and furious anger for the Palace loyal at the moment that they intend to strike down upon the owners with. And the reason for this is because the Palace owners just seemingly don't care. And the Palace fans feel very much that they've been betrayed and the players have been betrayed. And Phil Huffer, who is involved in the Eagle Eye podcast, which is one of the Crystal Palace fan podcasts, which is very, very good indeed, Crystal Palace Women, and also a friend of mine from elsewhere, part of the Palace Loyal. He has sent the thing and said, can you please mention this, if possible, to publicise it? He says, a reminder that Laura Kaminsky, the coaching and other staff and the players won promotion last season from the Championship with an investment from Crystal Palace of just 700k out of a total income of £190 million, which is 0.3. Again, returning to the Wolves question, it makes them look even worse. The effort, organisation, togetherness, planning, work ethic, commitment, sacrifice, sweat, concentration, attitude, mentality, and more that was required to win the league for Palace last season has been thrown away by a shambles of a season. Started with a poor start in the summer transfer window when we had months to try and get the players in we needed, even if we had to pay over the odds, which is often the case for a newly promoted team. It continued with poor preparation during pre-season, lots of P's there, when we didn't even have a recognised centre forward for our friendlies, of which we couldn't attend because many were played behind closed doors and didn't receive information about. We had bad luck with injuries, but that was why the owners needed to properly invest to ensure the squad was strong enough to cover for them. We needed proven WSL experience, players who knew what to expect from the league and who knew how to get results. The players who won promotion needed and deserved that help and experience to guide them through the season. With all the teams in the WSL already full of established players who met that criteria, we needed to invest a lot more than them just to get to a level where we could compete. Clearly, the investment wasn't there to give us a chance. If the owners had bothered to put in proper investment last summer, we wouldn't need to repeat it every year because we'd have a WSL squad that would only require a few tweaks to compete in subsequent seasons.
Yeah.
None of this is the fault of the players or the staff. And so for our last home game on Sunday, let's get behind the team like we have all season. They deserve it more than ever. And let's show our disgust to the owners.
Yeah, 100%.
So there you go. And this is what we're seeing now. And on the one hand, it's horrific that fans are having to do this. But on the other hand, it's fantastic that women's football fan bases now mobilizing not just the fans who turn up every single week, but the club as a whole, to really take on the owners and go, no, we don't even necessarily watch the women for whatever reason, because we're busy or we can't go, but they're part of our club and we want them.
And how dare you treat them like that?
How dare you make our club look like it doesn't respect women?
Yeah, because that's ultimately what it is. And we've seen, with other teams, if the men on the whole bringing in a lot of money, as we've seen, but if you're gonna make a women's team, then make it the best women's team you can possibly have and give them the investment and the support and the belief and everything, the infrastructure that they need to succeed, or else disband your women's team, because there's no point doing it half-assed to have players who give everything for your club just to turn around and not give them what they deserve. So Yeah, I think owners, in particular this day and age, and even Ian Wright was talking about it on his podcast this week. He was saying you need to invest. Don't be looking at it as in, oh, I've put this amount of money in and only getting, I'm not going to make that back for a couple of years. As we've all heard, there's billionaires, there's personal wealth, there's all of this money, and women's football is asking for a tiny little sliver of it, and that's it. And if owners aren't willing to do that, then need different people, need new owners. Because how is the game ever going to grow if no one's willing to put the money in?
You have people like Michelle Kang step in, which I know we've ripped her to shreds, and I know because of the nature of London City as a club, perhaps it's not the best idea. But if Michelle Kang had taken over, say, an established brand like Crystal Palace, and put that money in,
where would they be? Yeah,
where would they be now? Or
well, it's for all we take the mick and everyone's like, oh, Kang FC, etc. She's put the money in. She's spending that time. She's making this work. She's building something. We may not agree with the way it's going on, but the fact is, she's put that money in.
I mean, the accounts of London City came out. They lost £2.5 million last year. That's before Michelle Kang took over. So when you look at their squad this season, I reckon we're talking WSL budget level losses. I reckon we're talking the budget of a Man United level losses, like 3.5 million.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise us. Yeah, but again, she's gone. Okay, I'll put the money in. It's gonna, it's not gonna make it back for a while, but we need to start somewhere, and that's exactly where we're gonna go. And that is what we need. More people willing to put that money forward.
And speaking of investment, Tony asking there, do you think West Ham are going to keep Shakira Martinez?
Yes, I was going to ask you this, so probably because I was thinking about it too. Do we think another club's going to go in for her, or do we think West Ham are going to do enough to keep her?
I think West Ham have to, because she's 23 years old. She scored 9 goals in 10 games for West Ham.
Wow.
And went on loan to SC. She wasn't even supposed to play for West Ham fully this season. She was back on loan to Germany to Freiburg.
Yes, because we talked about the point system, didn't we? She didn't have enough points to come and play in the WSL.
Yeah.
So had to go back.
She is on a 3-year contract with West Ham. So
good.
It would require, I would imagine, a fairly decent money bid.
Yeah, if someone's willing to put the money up, then it becomes what can we do with the money?
Yeah,
rather than.
But also, I think, based on the evidence of this season, they'd be, Martinez and Asai is a strike pairing, and Rico Weki as well. That is a front three. That is a WSL front three. Rico Weki, Shakira Martinez, and Viviane Asai. That is a nice mix of skill, speed, and power.
Yeah,
That's
and
proven to build on.
To do it, yeah. 100%.
I mean, Liverpool, like Emily's saying, Liverpool would be the club. Everton, perhaps, if the owners really want to go for it bid-wise. But I think she would massively suit Liverpool. Her playing off Sophie Roman Haug.
Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
I can see that happening.
Her Sophie Roman, because there seems to be a trend in women's football. Front threes seem to be more and more a thing.
Yeah.
Which, yes, we love front threes. None of this one up front and weird formations behind. And
we want more triple espressos. That's what we want. We want
to play 4-3-3. That's what we want to play.
Speaking of 4-3-3, when Villa put out their formation and it was 3 at the back against Arsenal, we all had a moment of, sorry, how many injuries have we got? What's going to go on? And then look what happened. So I think
Hansen's goal. I know we've already mentioned this, but legit thunder bastard.
Oh, honestly, it was just the fact it kept happening, and I was like, "Is this real? Is this really what's going on? Is
this the real life? Yeah.
Is this just yeah? So I thought, because I was holding out for this game, and I was like, please be a good one, please be a good one. for my little match report. So what I thought I'd do in a bit of a different ilk, I'm just going to read you my live tweets from the Part of the Pride pod page, because I couldn't quite believe it. So for those of you who may have missed it and missed our singing at the beginning, this was Villa 5, Arsenal 2 earlier this evening. Jordan Nobbs got us off to a fantastic strike in the 30th minute. Kirsty Hansen, as Paul's just said, certified Thunder Bastard in the first minute of first half stoppage time. Within a minute of coming back in the second half, Chastity Grant got her first of the afternoon. Rachel Daly then made it 4-0. And you just think, you're 4-0 up against Arsenal. What's going on? Then, unfortunately, Arsenal had to get some back, Blackstenius and Russo. And then Chastity got the 5th in the 73rd minute. So just to kind of sum up what happened, the first tweet was Jordan in massive capital letters. Villa surprising everyone with their efforts in the first half. Such a quick counter from Salmon to find the feet of Nobbs for 1-0. Regardless of what happens next, that was fantastic. This was at 1-0. Little did I know. The next one, in capitals, Kirsty's on fire. What a first half performance this has been from the Villa. Next one. What is happening? Chastity makes it 3 within a minute of the restart. It's 4. Ebony wins the ball in midfield, drives forward, and ultimately picks out Rachel Daly in the box, who beats her defender and drives it home. This confidence, in capitals. And then 60th minute, Blackstenius gets one back. Then we had some substitutions. Shout out to Rachel Maltby, by the way, who got her senior debut. So congratulations to her. Pacheco and Kearns and Salmon all had fantastic matches. And Jill Byings and Katie Robinson came on as well. Russo then got one back. It was a cracking header. Can't argue with it. 73rd minute, again in capitals, Chastity gets her brace. Chaz's pace gets her into the box first, even under pressure from Williamson, who was fuming, by the way, at the end of the match. She almost took off Katie Robinson's head. It was quite funny. The ball takes a deflection of Zinsberger, but it's in the back of the net for 5-2. And of course, massive shout outs to Sarah Merling and Rachel Coursey, both back from injury now. Rachel Coursey hasn't been seen since the first game of the season, so it's been a long time coming for her. So it was great to have her back on for the last couple of minutes. Rachel Maltby was so close to being to having a goal involvement. She slipped a lovely pass through to Kate Robinson, but unfortunately Robinson was offside. And just who'd have thought 5-2? And the attendance, just to confirm, was 4,500, and I've got 19, but BBC Sport says 90. So we'll go with BBC Sport, 4,590. So not bad considering it was a rearranged fixture. And I'm really annoyed because I should have been there because I had tickets for the Saturday, but I couldn't make it this evening.
Would you like the Chelsea view from our good friend in the chat, Matthew?
Oh, go on then.
That he sent me. Sent at 7:00.
Right.
in all capital letters. I have just seen the score between Aston Villa and Arsenal. Up the effing Villa. Pass it on to Freya. Followed by, I've just checked the match stats. Villa have had 5 shots on target and scored 5 goals. Where has this Villa been all season? I was unaware at the time it was Manu Zinsberger in goal, who is probably going to need police. Who, if Twitter says anything, is probably going to need police protection when she gets back to North London. Because
you know what it is? I feel so sorry for Manu because she loves Arsenal so much, and a lot of Twitter does not love her back. And it's just, it's so heartbreaking. But yeah, I mean, if you're at this level. Obviously, Daphne wasn't 100% in the Champions League. We are going to talk about it. But yeah, Manu was their only option this evening. And, to some extent, the Arsenal defence also has a job to do. It's not all Manu.
We're not allowed to criticise the Arsenal defence because it has Leah Williamson and Katie McCabe in it.
Well,
and it
Williamson
also has Lotte Wubben-Moy, and they're all really good people, and we're not allowed to criticise them because you get
Well, we are, because it's our
Legions
podcast.
of people in the mentions.
They started with a back four, Arsenal. Katie Reid, who's doing phenomenally well. Lotte Wubben-Moy, Steph Catley, and Katie McCabe were the starting back four. Lee Williamson, Kim Little, and Alessia Russo all came on at half time. But by then they were 4-0 down.
I mean, what I did watch a bit of it. It was more like Catley on a hot tin roof. She was just absolutely.
I mean, first off, well done for that.
I'm glad. There you go.
Yeah, just yeah, she was fuming. She tripped Chastity up at one point, and then she was like, "What?" It's like,
can I just check? I should probably know this. Now it's the end of the season. Is it Chastity or Chastity?
Yes. Chastity.
It hasn't got the T in it.
Hasn't got the T. However, everyone, including commentators, including everyone, will call her Chastity, but it's not. It's Chastity. Just only the one T.
She likes to play in that belt just behind the. Sorry. Anyway.
Oh, dear.
There you go. It's 20-10. I'm allowed to make jokes like that. Be lucky I didn't call him an impact sub. Anyway.
Hey, as long as she keeps scoring, she can do whatever she wants. I will just say that her full name, I've just double checked it. Chastity Chavonia Carissa Grant.
Oh,
Chavonia sounds like a cough mixture.
Chavonia. Yeah.
Chavonia. Cough medicine with clout. There you go. Power of advertising there, folks. Other cough medicines are available. No, Tony Graham is not writing my material. Although I understand the confusion.
Are we on the Villa segment now? Yes, I've been singing praises, Mr. Arsenal podcast, because I was stalling slightly because I was logging in to my Twitter. Because let's just get up with Mr. Arsenal Pod, who did tweet me earlier. And said,
this is going to be one of those bets, isn't it? This is going to be cool.
There we go. Hang on. So I put something like tonight's run in order, blah blah blah. Ryan was like, I'll be in the chat, no matches to distract us. I was like, hopefully discussing a Villa win, of course. Haha. Obviously, me not thinking it would happen. Ryan then replied, we both know that won't happen. Even with the expected team rotation from Arsenal, we will beat Villa tonight. Hashtag Renee's Red and White Army. And then we all saw how that went. He then said, again, tell you what, if Villa win tonight, I'll do a forfeit of your choice. So we can leave it up to people in the chat. I hear this. Well, you set yourself up for this one. So I need to have a good think about a good forfeit for that one.
Just a question. Do you know anybody who owns a Tottenham shirt?
Oh, yes, I do.
We do, don't we? I was asking if Ryan, Mr. Arsenal, knows anybody who knows a Spurs shirt, who owns a Spurs shirt.
I think that might have to be the forfeit, and there will have to be photographic evidence of this happening. So hey, that just shows you when you doubt the Villa, what can happen.
actually, we okay, yeah, we don't have to force it just straight away. No, okay.
It's a no-go. Well, you did say a forfeit.
Would you sing "Oh When the Spurs" instead of North London Forever? Like, would you sing "Oh When the Spurs"?
What, when everyone else in the Emirates is singing North London Forever?
No, we don't want to actually,
However, we'll give him credit. Elise is here to feel this music. Exactly.
That's not a bad idea. Chelsea shirt.
Chelsea shirt, yeah. Not as horrendous. We love it. Never.
I love it. Never.
Oh, come on. Hey, you offered up a forfeit. Yes. Okay. How about a full Villa kit? Yes, Sean.
Where's going to get a full Villa kit in North London?
Full Villa kit.
Hey, the Villa store delivers.
Hey, I'm going socks, shin pads, everything. Like it needs to be
Oh,
done.
he has to be full kit wanker.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There you go then, Ryan. That is your
If he plays five-a-side or something like that, he has to wear the full Villa kit to play five-a-side. Like he has to...
Do you imagine turning up? All right, lads.
Just absolutely.
Nothing strange.
We'll make it a bit easier. It can be a Jordan Knob shirt, so there's at least an Arsenal connection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know,
yeah. We'll allow
we're
it.
not monsters, contrary to the wear a Spurs shirt. We're not monsters.
But yeah, I'd love it. But has to wear it in an Arsenal game. No, we won't. We won't force that.
No, he has to wear a full Arsenal kit. If he has to, because Ryan's a grown guy, right? He has to wear a full Arsenal kit to a game.
Yes, to it. Yeah,
Socks
proper
and
full
everything.
kit for a game. Yes, so I think that's more doable. It's more doable. Yeah, so Ryan has no.
because that way he can still support his team. But he can.
We'll do it.
Oh yeah. See, Ryan knows because I told him this week I would actually sing the praises of Arsenal after they thumped Leon. So.
No, that's our next part. Don't you worry. We are getting there. And Graham's absolutely loving that bit. Right then, go on then. We'll do some prayers because of course this weekend, which is why Chelsea and Arsenal are playing this evening, was because it was the Women's Champions League second leg of the semi-finals. Now, first time out, both Arsenal and Chelsea, we talked about it last week, they both did get beaten by Lyon and Barcelona, respectively. However, we all thought, right, Arsenal are going to be away and they're going to be fighting. It's going to be tough, but they're going to be fighting. And it was only a 2-1 deficit, so not a big amount to climb. Chelsea had been beaten away from home and got beaten 4-1. So they were at home advantage, Stamford Bridge. And he just thought, right, it's all going to come together. Everyone's thought this is Chelsea's season. You know, Kira Walsh, Lucy Bronze, etc., all left. Both left Barcelona to come and try and win it with another team. And we all know the hype surrounding all of that. So we are going to start with Chelsea. Okay. So for the Chelsea fans in the chat, get ready, put your thoughts in. Now, it was always going to be a steep mountain decline, wasn't it? A 4-1 deficit. It ended up being another 4-1 defeat at Stamford Bridge. So I can only imagine how that felt as a fan, but of course felt as a player as well. Chloe, I'll come to you first. I don't know how much of this you managed to catch, because I know you worked really hard. But Chelsea just weren't playing as Chelsea over this semi-final, were they? So what kind of were your thoughts about it?
I mean, I caught up on the highlights afterwards, so I didn't actually catch like the full game, but I've watched them. I watched the highlights, but they just looked a bit lost, and I don't know whether that's just
lost. Yes, that is a word that's been bandied about what they look like, because it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that they just looked lost, and I feel like Sonia is a little bit like Serena, where she doesn't really do much rotation. And so like her starting lineup is the starting lineup. And I feel a lot of the players looked tired. They looked a little bit like, I don't know what the other word is, but they look tight. Like Millie Bright has been in such poor form recently. And that is probably because she's playing every single game known to man. Like I know she was rested for the second half of the first leg, I think. Or was it the game afterwards? I can't remember. But there was a game where she was rested for 45 minutes and then she was straight back for this game. And it's like and I've just been reading that apparently against Man United now she's still been in and Chelsea have just scored.
Yes, they have. I was being really polite and waiting to interrupt you. That reaction from Lucy Bronze, if people watching it, was proper. Like, oh yeah, okay. So 74th minute, Chelsea winning 1-0. They've done it then. Essentially, if they do this, Lucy Bronze getting the crowd cheering. Man United have really got to come back and pull something out of the bag. So yeah, sorry, Chloe. Back to you.
It's all right. Don't know,
Was it a womper banger banger of a goal?
Womper banger where?
Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, it was Lucy Bronze's head as well. It was a glancing header.
Love Lucy Bronze. I can't. I mean, there will never be a bad word for me about Lucy Bronze. What
Sacrilege if you did that. That was so it came in from a corner, Lucy Bronze's header, past Falentil's Joyce. I don't know if it took a slight deflection off someone else. But yeah. Oh, we've got some changes, right. Aggie Beaver Jones is coming off. Guru Wrighton is coming on. So is Kat Macario. Tullis Joyce is currently down, receiving treatment.
Of course she is. Do you take time out?
Sorry, just the Aitana Bonmati level of catacomb level of cynicism there from Chloe. The goal is down. Of course she is.
Hey, our court does it all the time, okay? I never believe it anymore.
Tell you what was great about oh yes, and Micah Hamano is coming on as well. Thank you for that. What was great at 20 minutes in the Villa Arsenal match, because we won. We forced Arsenal into a tactical timeout because they were like, sorry, what? Who was this team that have turned up? They've gone completely against our plan. And it was just phenomenal. So yeah, we love a bit of it. Why not?
You were going to go to the Arsenal game tonight, and I was meant to be going to this United-Chelsea game. You're telling me I could have witnessed a Lucy Bronze goal in the flesh? Because a stupid kickoff time at 8:15, and you're going to be stranded in Wigan and couldn't get home afterwards.
And no one wants to be stranded in Wigan. No one.
I mean, what was I saying? I was talking about Millie Bright. I was, before that goal went in, I was just reading that apparently Millie Bright has been on poor form again tonight, and that is probably because she's trying to manage so much within not only Chelsea but the Lionesses as well, that she's just completely worn out. And I've seen that about a lot of the other players as well, that they're worn out. And
but that's the thing, is we know they want to play for their team and we know they want to be involved, but people can only do so much. And if you're pushing them to their limits, they're going to make mistakes, and then it's just gonna get worse, isn't it? So yeah, they didn't really look like a Chelsea side in the semi-finals. Paul, how about you? Because the first 15 minutes weren't too bad. I remember writing in my notes. But do you reckon it was that moment of, we're already 4-1 down, and there was so much pressure to come back that just gaps opened up everywhere, and they just once again let Barcelona play their game? What did you make of it?
They just didn't. Everyone was saying, all the experts were saying, Chelsea need to make this a game that is scrappy, and they need to break the play up, and they need to get in amongst Barca. And Barca just turned up and had a kickabout on the Stamford Bridge pitch. And it was, for whatever reason, it wasn't Chelsea, was it? It was just, I think it was very telling that Erin Cuthbert's post-match interview, did you see this, where she was literally almost in tears?
No, I didn't actually. DAZN are not great for post-match stuff.
It was the usual. We gutted. We didn't perform. It was a tough game. We need to learn from this. But it was full on. Erin Cuthbert's normally full of life and whatever else. It's quite resolute. It was a defeated Erin Cuthbert. It was a proper. I've got nothing for you. That was horrific. Wow. Which on the one hand was sad, but on the other hand was good, because there was a lot of reaction on Twitter of certain Chelsea players who, in the eyes of the fan police, did not take this result badly enough. And honestly, I kind of agree with them. Not just because of the players, but I think it's perfectly possible to say, well done, Barca, have a laugh with your players and whatever else. Once you get back in the changing rooms and then you go over and go, oh, you've done us over there.
Yeah.
But in the heat of battle in front of everybody else, when you're in front of your fans and you've just got absolutely wrecked and you're laughing and joking with the opposition, there seems a lack of awareness there.
It's strange, isn't it? Because I know exactly what you mean, because there's loads of videos going around online, as always, of can't believe they're laughing and joking. Did they not know, we could have had a final and all this? And it's like, you've got to separate the two, haven't you? And this is, I kind of think, where the confusion is, because everyone says as soon as you step over that white line, it's a completely different space. It's not your friends anymore. It's your team. It's your whatever. And then as soon as the final whistle goes, right, you're out of game mode. So you would prefer that if they did it all back in the changing rooms?
I mean, I can't really talk because I played ice hockey last week, and we played a team, and they, to be fair, they were better than us. It was a great game, played in a great spirit, but it was a proper battle, and no quarter was asked for or given. And in the last minute of the game, I was stood in front of the net doing my being a nuisance thing. I know, me winding people up. And I got absolutely flattened. I got practically put in the car park by a guy going straight through the back of me. So I basically got up, span round, and just went, right, okay, I'm not having this. Swung my stick at his ankle, which in hockey terms is, come on then. And then it went back and forth, and it ended up me facing three of them going, come on then. And I, in classic Midlands Coventry fashion, was like, I'll have you all, you bunch of whatever. And then kind of, my teammate came in, and then it was all broken up. I was skating away, looking at my shoulder, giving it the full, I'll have you, blah, blah, blah. Game finished. And at the end of it, we had the handshake line back and forth, and it was well played, lads. And then he was like, I had to flatten you. You'd have scored otherwise. I was like, yeah, fair play to you. Give him a pat on the back.
Yeah.
And you can understand that. But I think at elite level sport, I do think perhaps the players need to be a bit more mindful of the impression they create. And they can sit there and say, as soon as you cross the white line, blah, 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 as soon as the end of the game, you're friends again.
Yeah.
But it ruins that while we're taking them on, because while you're on the pitch afterwards, that's still the game space to me.
Okay, yeah.
If you're out there in public, that's still the game space. You shake hands, you're polite. Yeah, fair enough, well played.
Yeah. But anything other than that.
But anything other than that, the laughing and joking and dancing and have the kids, how have you been? You can do that, and you can do that down the tunnel outside. Nobody will begrudge it because everyone knows everyone's friends. But just emotions, fan emotion inside. If my Sky Blues are playing Middlesbrough at the weekend, to get into the Championship playoffs, there's at CBS Arena. There's probably friends on both. There's probably friends on there on both teams. If the Sky Blues lose and don't get into the playoffs at the end of the season, I don't want to see my team going up to the opposition going, oh, well, fair play, lads. You've done us there, and laughing and joking. I'm like, you've wrecked people's weekends here. It shouldn't be the case, but you have.
No. There's so much emotion going around. It's a strange one, but yeah, regardless of that, Chelsea do not make it into the final. However, for those of us who wanted an all English final, it's still half there because, and this is where all of the niceties are going to come in. So everyone who's an Arsenal fan, get ready.
Ryan appears back in the chat. There you go.
He's like, right, the Chelsea stuff's over. I'll come back now. This was, and I remember watching it thinking, as a neutral, this was such a good game to watch. The skill, the passion and the fight. And I genuinely think Arsenal left it all on the pitch. And that's why they're deserving of this final. But I do have to say, Paul, we will start with you, because can we just talk about Kim Little, please? Because a lot of people, a lot of younger fans, shall I say, who don't really understand Kim's importance have maybe said, she's a bit past it, she's this. But that performance, that was prime Kim Little, wasn't it? So what did you make of the game?
I mean, Kim Little it's one of those players, the intelligence she's got, and she's evolved her game because she's realised she can't run around chasing every loose ball now like she might have done earlier in her career. So she's adjusted more and gone, right, okay, I'll do what I can do. I know what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And when she does it well, like,
so good to watch.
And it's underrated, and it's one of those things. She is a thinking person's player, Kim Little, I think, because she doesn't. Oh, we're on the big telly, Ryan says. She doesn't. So you play the Kim Little on the big telly. My face in HD. God, sorry, Ryan. But yeah, there were those players who are like thinking fans players, and the Japanese team a lot that, like Chloe was talking about Hanoka Hayashi earlier. She's very much one of those thinking fans players who, when you ask managers and when you ask teammates about them, they can't stop singing praises about them. But Kim Little's, rolling back the years is a bit of a cliche, but you know, she was playing like a 25-year-old.
Yeah,
it was just incredible.
Prime Kim Little. It was incredible. Tony in the chat, like when Perla lost all his pace and became a great deep line playmaker instead of a box-to-box midfielder.
And that's what the great players do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's changing, it's adapting, it's making sure you are still top of what you are able to do and keeping your place within that team because you've got these qualities. But yeah, Chloe, I know you want to talk about Caitlin Ford. Her versus Ellie Carpenter down the wing was incredible, and of course got a goal as well, didn't she? So yeah, from your perspective, what was this game like for you?
I always want to talk about Caitlin Ford. To be fair and to be quite frank, she has been on fire recently. Like she's been so good. She scored her 50th goal twice. I mean,
who else can do that?
Who else can do that? No, I mean, I feel like that game was just so unbelievable for like every player. Like I thought Katie McCabe was phenomenal. Like she was literally putting her entire body on the line. Like there was one point where she got hit smack bang in the face from close range and she didn't even flinch. She just continued, and it was like, how I'll start talking about Katie McCabe and Paul goes.
He's like, no, I've had enough now. There was too many niceties possible. He's off.
No, I thought she played like incredibly well. I thought Mariona Caldente was absolutely incredible, and that goal she scored was unbelievable. But I mean, Caitlin Ford just recently, she's been insane, and even in today's game against Villa, seeing her as left back, a position she doesn't normally play, was chef's kiss. It was like she just slotted in like absolutely no problem, no issues. Like I just think she's enjoying herself at the minute. She's playing such good football, and yeah, that battle. I mean, I think what made the battle of Ellie Carpenter so much better is that they're also international teammates, so they do have that kind of like banter. And
and you had to push each other's buttons, didn't they? And it was just so great to see.
It was amazing, and she completely capitalized on that Vanessa Giles slip and just took the ball off her and just.
I felt so sorry for Gilles. I really did. You just, as a defender, that's got to be the worst moment when you slip in the box and the opposition attacker's just like, well, thank you very much. I'll just get another one now.
You literally just took it, dipped it over into the net, and then she was tormenting the Leon fans, and I'm like, go on, girl. She genuinely, and I was like, who does that remind me of? No, but it was just so funny, and she just looks in such good form recently, and whatever she's doing, just keep at it, because she's phenomenal. She's insane, and I just hope that you know, she just continues to, I just can't speak highly enough about her. I just think she's great.
Yeah, no, such a hard worker. Don't worry. We hope Paul will be back. This was not a scheduled leaving, so hopefully it's just
I was
technical
joking, by the way.
I was going to say we haven't booted him out on purpose. We do promise. So I'll keep an eye on the waiting area, as it were. But a lot of people have commented on the fact that Joe Montemuro's starting lineup, for some bizarre reason, he completely changed it. And he himself said in post-match, he said, "We haven't made a mistake all season, and we made them all in one match." And he was right, wasn't he? Starting lineup, so Les Sommer and Danielle van der Donk didn't come on until the 70th minute. Majri didn't come on until the 60th minute. And you just think, you've got all of these superstar players. Why aren't you bringing them on when you clearly need it? Like, what is going on? Because obviously 20 minutes is okay to make an impact, but really when you're 4-0 down, it shouldn't take until the 81st minute for Demone, who incidentally won the winner in the first leg. Won the winner? No, scored the winner. First minute for her to put the ball in the back of the net. So yeah, it was a case of Lyon just completely fell apart, and Arsenal, of course, taking the advantage and just being able to be clinical. But as we said, a lot of that effort went into that. And then they were a bit tired against Villa, which all worked in our favour. Thank you to everyone keeping us updated on the Chelsea game, by the way. Good evening to Chris. Thank you for joining us. 7 minutes minimum injury time. And it's still 1-0 to Chelsea. So as it stands, Chelsea have won the WSL. As it stands, Arsenal cannot catch them, but it's all a case of who can get that Champions League spot at the moment too. So Arsenal, fantastic performance, and if Paul does come back, I'm sure he will sing he will sing more praises, of course. So don't you worry. That does then mean that the final is officially Arsenal versus Barcelona. In the final, which everyone was looking at ticket prices to fly out to Lisbon, and of course the airlines all picked up on it because the prices tripled, quadrupled for that day, funnily enough. So well done to anyone who got tickets for a decent price.
And if you did, how? So we can find out. We can go to Lisbon as well, because we are the pair in question who are looking at tickets. And
well, people are saying now it's cheaper to fly to like Faro, and then like get a flexi bus. Someone mentioned. I was like, I'm all right. I'm not. No, I'll watch it on the telly, nice and comfy, and we can have a live watch along. That's what we can do. But yes, we did end 4-1 to Arsenal on the night, 5-3 on aggregate, and it's the first final in 18 years that Arsenal have been in. Of course, the only English club to win this competition. And just an incredible feat. So can't congratulate them enough for English club finally representing. However, they do face Barcelona. It will be an incredibly hard ask. But hey, there's a first time for everything. We've seen this season Barcelona can be defeated. So watch this space. Now, we've talked about so much. We've still got to talk about the championship. So Paul needs to come back. Has he messaged our chat? No. Paul. Because the best league in the world, the Women's Championship, comes to its conclusion this weekend. And we already know that Sheffield, hang on, I'll get our results up, bear with. After Sheffield lost 3-2 to Southampton at the weekend, they were officially relegated. However, Durham and Newcastle really put a cat amongst the pigeons to hold London City and Birmingham to a draw, which means that it goes down to the final day. And again, I wish Paul was here to reveal it because, everyone, if you aren't going to a game on Sunday, we are doing a live watch along. Okay, so come and join us for the final day madness, proper Soccer Saturday style. It's currently me and Paul at the minute that are going to be doing it. Technical issues depending, but we will be there for all the latest updates, and we might have some more joining us nearer the time too.
I can come at you live from Anfield if you prefer.
Yes, I was going to say you can drop in and be like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I'm dropping live from Anfield. Like that's where I'm at this weekend. So Emily, if you're there, come say hi. I'll come say hi.
Emily is going to be there. Yes,
so am I.
Oh, we love it. We absolutely love it. Marlon's now put in the chat goal 1-1. Hang on.
Hello.
Hang on a minute. I haven't got that.
Wait, I'm doing my hair. I can't focus. What?
Oh.
But Chelsea technically will still win it because they just needed a point. Like,
I love that Graham said. I'll happily provide updates as I watch our game at Southampton on multiview. Yes, so we'll have multiview up, we'll have Sky Sports up, and it'll be me and Paul live reacting to everything that happens. And we will see a winner between Birmingham City and London City Lionesses. I will just say though, Birmingham need to win. A point will not be enough. Okay, so if it's a draw, or if Birmingham lose, game over, London have it. Birmingham need to win. So it's all on the table for this weekend. And a lot of people are Birmingham fans. As Graham Wright says, up the Birmingham. Or up the Blues, of course, the Blues of Birmingham. Which then means Birmingham Villa Derby next season. Yes, please. That would be incredible. Be incredible. Get a good turnout for that as well. So yes, so come join us on Sunday for that live watch along. Right, so looking at some key fixtures that got us to this point then. So I've just mentioned Sheffield, Southampton. Chloe Bear, we'll come to you because like we just mentioned, Newcastle won, Birmingham won. Annoyingly, the Magpies, I mean, they probably should have won this match, let's be honest. But they dominated, but they managed a point. So yeah, talk to us about this one, please.
It's just been confirmed that Chelsea have won for a 6th year in a row.
There we go. And see, the app is so behind. They're still playing. Just had a throw in. Sandberg.
Oh, Lucy's won a title! Yay!
Woohoo! It's not the one she wanted, but she's won one.
But she's got it, and Kira as well.
And the whistle has gone. It is official. Chelsea have won the WSL for the 24-25 season for the 1,000,000th trillionth time, and absolutely buzzing. And of course, it had to be Lucy Bronze to get the winner.
Our girl.
As you can tell, Chloe's very happy about that. Pooh and Neve, I don't know what's on her head. I'm hoping it's just mud and not a bruise, which has got a massive mark across her head.
She did get kicked by Mallard, didn't she? So
well, there we go. Yes, because our Rosie has just put in the chat, how is Mallard still on the pitch? So if anyone can provide me with some more updates on what Mallard was up to, that would be phenomenal. Graham just put, having provided you updates on 3 games on Sunday, Freya, while you were at the zoo, I'm full of admiration how you do it regularly and so well. Oh, thanks, Graham. I was getting so confused. Honestly, multiple screams, multiple updates, and hey, we're chaos, aren't we? So that's our game. That's what we're here for. So yeah, Chelsea are officially WSL champions, crowned at Lee Sports Village. And hey, guess who we're hearing from live? Are you happy? I love that you just pop on now and again just to be like, guys, listen.
Champions of England 6 times in a row. Oh, they've already got the flag out.
And that's live reactions, everyone, from a proper Chelsea fan. You're welcome for Villa also doing you a favour this evening as well.
Yes, up to Villa.
Thank you very much. No, we appreciate it, Rosie. Thank you very much. And hopefully you'll get yourself a Champions flag. But yes, enjoy your victory. Thanks. Right. We love a casual chaotic Rosie dropping. That'll do. Millie Bright has the flag, the Champions flag. And they they look shattered for one thing.
Yeah. Millie, any bad word I said about you, I'm afraid I meant it. Millie does look absolutely knackered though. Like, I don't know what it is about her, but she's just not been herself this year. Like,
do you reckon now they've won, they're gonna actually let her sleep?
I hope so. Like, I really like. I mean, I like watching Lucy and Kira play. I mean, I say this all the time how much I love Kira Walsh and Walsh supremacy, scoring her first goal for England, and how much I love. Never stop going about that. And how much I love them, but I generally think that they've won it now. Let Millie have a full game off, not just a half. Like, give someone else, a captain,
bit of rest time.
Give her some rest time. Give Lucy some rest time. Give Kira some rest time, because they've also those three in particular, they've got a huge summer with England as well. Like,
need the rest now so it doesn't come back. Tony's put in there. She's only missed 2 games that we've played. He's back. Hello.
Sorry, internet. Someone, who was it you put in the chat? Paul probably had internet problems because you cursed me. You just went dip.
I said it's because I was talking about Katie McCabe.
It disappeared like Chelsea's defence against Barca, but they've held. And congratulations, Chelsea. Well done. There you go.
Yes, we've just done the live reaction to them winning. It was very nice. Sonia put the flag on the floor in the middle of their circle as they all came together to chat about it. But yeah, official champion.
Where was the cameo from Rosie?
Rosie just popped up to sing champion 6 times in a row and to do lots of wooing, and then she left.
Okay.
So yeah, just a nice little pop up. Yeah.
I mean, Tony's just said that Chelsea have played 37 games and Millie Bright has missed 2. So there you go. I know that Sonia probably wants an unbeaten season. In like the WSL.
When your players are firing off full cylinders,
I think they so need a break. Like, just rest them. Because they've got another big test for the Lionesses in the Nations League for Portugal, like, next month as well.
Yeah.
And they're playing Spain again, and it's just this schedule is just ridiculous.
It is, yeah. And they're about introducing more, aren't they? Because why not?
It's just let the girls rest.
Let the girls rest, indeed. Paul, I did just say that we're doing a live watch along for the championship this weekend. If anyone's up for joining us. Just us 2 at the moment. Oh, the dog said something outside. Apologies if anyone heard that bark. I'm going
to drop in live from Anfield.
Yes, Chloe's going to drop in live from Anfield. It's going to be a great time.
I love the fact, by the way, it's 20:10 and we haven't even mentioned the championship yet.
Well, we just started talking about it and then we got distracted by Chelsea winning. So everyone, right, keep to the key points. So Chloe, Newcastle should have won, but they didn't. Discuss.
Yes. Newcastle should have won. Rachel Furness, bulleting header into goal, beat Adriana French. Simone McGill, ex-United. No. Everton and Villa player. Oh, it's because I read. It's because I was reading my report saying Newcastle United went behind. There you go. Ignore me. I'm going to start my sentence. I'm going to start my sentence again, so just pretend you didn't hear any of that.
Okay,
ex Aston Villa and Everton player Simone McGill.
Yes,
that's the sentence I meant to say. Also got a header for Birmingham City. She flicked her header over Claudia Moan once formerly of Sunderland, then moved to Newcastle. #traitor.
Sorry.
A lot of traitors in this camp. But I mean, to be fair, those were the key points for 2 goals. And then, to be fair, Newcastle had quite a lot of chances. Like, they should have won. But Birmingham almost got a second goal just 3 minutes into the second half, once again by Simone McGill, who forced a cracking save out of Claudia Moan, to be fair, when the ball just wrapped around the post. Just kind of went like that a little bit. McGill was, I mean, we've seen her in action for Villa and Everton. She is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Like, she's an incredible player, and I generally miss her dearly. Was devastated when she left.
Yeah, 100%. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Newcastle missed some clear-cut chances. Look at you, keeping to the key points. Well done. And yeah, but they've made it interesting to keep it to the final day. Paul, we're going to talk about same with Durham. Durham and London City. Again, keep drawing a 1-1 to take it to the final day. So talk to us about this one, please.
Again, very, very swiftly. Once again, Durham took the lead and made life very interesting because it was Hannah Blake scoring after 19 minutes and kind of not silencing Hayes Lane, but certainly making them go, oh, hold on a minute, because I think part of that crowd thought maybe this was procession to the title because London City could have won it with a better result than Birmingham. Or certainly put themselves in an incredibly strong position. They wouldn't have won it if they'd won with Birmingham drawing, but they would have certainly got very close. And Durham scoring almost seemed to wake London City up into full-on, attacking, because that was Durham's only shot, according to the stats. They had 41% possession, but only one shot. And unsurprisingly, 19 fouls. Classic Durham.
Classic Durham, yeah.
But the talisman for London City this season, we love her. Izzy Goodwin.
Yes.
56 minute, doing Izzy Goodwin things and finding the back of the net. And despite another 10 shots and almost unrelentless? No, almost unending London City pressure, it was a 1-1 draw. So it goes to the final day at St Andrews.
And that's why we're going live, because we can't wait. Because we were just saying as well, so if we just pull this up, so Birmingham City do need to win. Nothing else will do. It has to be a win, or else London City will be promoted. But it's so close at the top of the table. If we look at some of the other games from the weekend, so Southampton beat Sheffield United 3-2. Sunderland, I don't know how they dared the audacity of scoring a 95th minute winner when Bristol definitely should have won. I don't know. I don't know how to do it. I will say, though, I do think Lexi Lloyd-Smith will be picked up by a WSL team.
She has to be, doesn't she?
She has to be. What?
London City. London City over the summer, I think, if they go up.
Ooh, that's a good shout. Yeah. I can see that. Can you imagine her and Izzy Goodwin just front two? I know we love a front three now, but just straight through.
Well, you'd have little and large there. You'd have the classic, listen, if you there's a classic little and large striker partnership.
I'd love that.
Big little. The big guy just knocks stuff down. Noel Quinn and Kevin Phillips. There you go. There's a Sunderland reference.
Yes. Oh, what a combination.
One of the greatest strike forces the Premier League has ever seen.
And talking about, a striking force, a team that have magically gained their rhythm at this end of the season. Luckily, the only home team to win this weekend was Portsmouth. 4-0 over Blackburn Rovers. Now, if anyone had said to us, a final game of the season, Portsmouth are going to win 4-0, we would have laughed and laughed, because at December, January, we all went, they're pretty much down.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, this resurgence. And I do have to say, I'm in agreement with Graham here. Sophie Quirk, what a game she had on Sunday. Key points for this one. So it was at Fratton Park, final game because, of course, odd number of teams, so they're not playing next week. So this was it. They had to pull everything out. Sophie Quirk opened the score in 16th minute, her first of the game. Lovely tap in at the near post from Meg Hornby's corner. Meg Hornby, by the way, fantastic game as well. Williams almost had a chance for Blackburn, but the effort was parried away. No real trouble there. And that was their only shot in the match. Blackburn had one shot. Meg Hornby was then able to get Pompey second in the final minutes of first half stoppage time. She won the ball in midfield and just ran straight at goal. There was defence around her, but it was like Blackburn was scared to touch her or go near her or anything. So yeah, I'm quite worried for Blackburn next season if they don't do anything this summer. Sophie Quirk then gets her second in the afternoon, 64th minute, long ball over the top. I think it was Dugdale. She was able to hold off Quirk and signal to Brooks and goal to like, right, come and get it. There was a miscommunication there, and Quirk was able to essentially dance around Dugdale, get the ball in the back of the net. And Dugdale and Brooks had a bit of an argument. So yeah, just that was 3-0. And then the fourth and final one came from Emma Thompson. She's fed up with acting. She's come to play football now. Substitute went 1-on-1 with Blackburn's Taylor, but skipped around her for a first ever Portsmouth goal. So there we go. What an end to the season. But yeah, like a couple of us mentioned in the chat, Blackburn have got some serious thinking to do. They had a very chaotic season, very up and down, massive roller coaster. But they just looked really lost, like without a purpose. So I don't know if there's going to be huge team changes in the summer, but they need to do something because luckily for them, Sheffield were worse this season. But yeah, they can't have another season like it, or else they are going to go down. So yeah, very. What a way to end Portsmouth season, I will say that. But yeah, we've mentioned Sunderland winning, and Demi Lambourne, I will say she's had a bit of a hit and miss season as well, but she pulled off some cracking saves to keep that scoreline down. And as Amy said, so please Portsmouth, and that's what we need. We need teams to come up and really fight for it, and that's exactly what they did. Yes, did we all see this today? Casey Stoney is going to be inducted into the Charlton Hall of Fame for her part. So yeah, which is fantastic for her.
Is that her, Jimmy Savile and Martin Pringle? Is that the Charlton Hall of Fame?
Pringle.
Well, actually, Martin Pringle, who was really good for half a season, and a Swede with dreadlocks.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling them out. They had Jason Yule up front with Carl Lieber, and now they have his son playing up front for them, which shows how old I am.
Look at you with your facts. Yes, well done indeed. So that brings us to, if we have a look, so not much between it. As we said at the top, Birmingham City need to win on Sunday. Charlton third, Durham fourth, only 1 point between them. 2 points behind, we've got Newcastle, then Bristol. Slight drop off to Sunderland, bit further a drop off to Southampton. And then, of course, we've got the bottom three. But Portsmouth, 13 points in ninth, with Sheffield officially being relegated. So, yeah, I mean, we kind of predicted what the top 4-5. We just didn't know in what order. But yeah, there's that massive drop between Southampton, 1st and 8th, and then the bottom 3 is massive. So again, shorter clubs need to invest. Yeah, go for it.
And it also shows we need 2 relegations from the WSL, at least.
Yes.
Or ideally, 3 relegations from the. Actually, no. 2 definite relegations from the WSL, and then you have 6th place in the championship, plays 2nd bottom in the plays 3rd bottom in the WSL.
So a little playoff. Okay.
So the playoff. So you have champions go up, next 4 in a playoff. Actually, no. How is that fair? Champion, wrong way round. Champions go up.
Yeah.
2nd place play 3rd bottom in the WSL, and then everyone else goes into a playoffs. Because then you have champions go up automatically. 2nd place is a 1-game shootout to go up.
Mm-hmm.
And 3rd till 6th has a mini tournament to go up. So have to play more games.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe. It's all about kind of the future of the game, isn't it? And where it's actually going to go, because something else needs to happen, because we've seen, I think London City and Birmingham could both easily go up this season. And I think they've both got the investment behind them to have a really good go of it. And that will just show up. I know Emily mentioned it about showing up teams like Blackburn and Sheffield, that Portsmouth have come up and kind of, done this in their first goal. But teams like Villa, who have struggled, maybe it's the Leicesters and Spurs, who kind of fallen off a bit as well, it would really force the clubs to invest. So yeah, I'm all for switching up. So there we go.
And Emily, if the WSL team win the 1 game, they stay up. That's how it works in, I believe it's Germany, I think, where they have relegation places, and then they have or is it Scotland? There's definitely a league where you have 1 goes down, and then the next one plays 2nd in the league below.
Italy used to do it.
So they can save themselves, but they can also go down.
Yeah, Italy used to do that, but they've changed their system in the last
because
season.
For example, this season, Birmingham versus Leicester, or London City versus Leicester, that's
a good matchup, actually.
That's a tricky one to call, that one, isn't it?
And you're right, Scotland do it. Well done. Yes. Yeah, and again, it's more jeopardy, isn't it? Absolutely. Right. So I think that is all the football news. We just needed a little bit more of your time, everyone listening. We won't be too long, but we do need to talk about some horrible bits of the news, but we need to talk about it because it's horrendous. So this is the Scottish FA. If anyone saw this earlier, the Scottish FA have passed a law banning all transgender women from competing in competitive women's football, which is, I think it's under 13s upwards, despite no transgender women actually being registered to play in Scotland. Now, the SFA is also understood to be developing new plans for increasing LGBTQ plus participation. However, they clearly don't know what the T stands for in that acronym. And this month, before the Supreme Court verdict, which again we've discussed before and how ridiculous it is, the English FA confirmed it would continue to allow trans women to play in the women's game, provided they exhibited low levels of testosterone for 12 months. And the decision is understood to affect 20 registered transgender players in England, with the FA reserving the right to consult a transgender and non-binary eligibility committee should there be any concerns. Now, the worrying thing is, and Paul, I know you said this, was the fact that there are no transgender women registered in Scotland. They've passed a law to fight a problem that just doesn't exist. So do you want to I'll hand the floor over to you when this was passed, because it's just horrendous. Like, horrendous isn't strong enough, but yeah, it's awful.
I kind of changed my hashtag to meet it, first of all. That's what let them play is. And also, I'm going to bring myself. I can't turn the right way. There you go. That is me showing support for trans people with the trans flag. So that is for you, Emily, and indeed all trans people. I don't think I'm outing you there. I think we've mentioned this before. Yes,
Yeah.
because, but this is this is just like Emily says. It's horrific. I cannot imagine being a trans person right now.
No.
Where you've got the case in America, because I know trans people in America who are terrified because they can't even have legal documents now because of the way the government's doing things.
Yeah.
We haven't got quite that bad yet in the UK, but we're getting there. And like Graham says, it's asking questions nobody's asked.
No.
There are no. This is this Scottish FA thing is purely punitive because there are no trans female players registered in the Scottish league system. None. So on the one hand, the Scottish FA will say, we're being merciful then because we're not stopping anybody playing. We're just changing the situation to make sure that it doesn't happen again. It's like, yes, you are. You're stopping trans people who might want to play football from playing. You're just turning around to them and saying, if you're a trans woman, you can't have a kick around. Full stop. You can't play in the league. Doesn't matter if you meet the eligibility. Doesn't matter if you are in a situation, and we're now seeing British. It's open hatred coming out, and it's idiots like J.K. Rowling. It's idiots like those people who protested at the League Cup final, and it is now at a level of hysteria where cis women are also having their eligibility questioned. They're having their rights questioned. They're having, with this thing with toilets and stuff. I think Emily mentioned earlier on, she now can't go into a woman's toilet technically, so she has to go into a male toilet. Now, obviously, we don't know what Emily looks like, but if you send a trans woman into a men's toilet representing as a woman, how is that better? Is my question. If you send a trans woman into a men's football league game at any level, at grassroots or whatever, just wanting to represent as a woman and saying, no, okay, you're a man, you have to play, and they go, okay, they're fair enough, I'll play in my birth gender. They will get horrendous abuse. They'll get annihilated. They might get physically attacked because of stuff like this. Trans people are being eliminated from society by stealth with stuff like this.
And it just, especially in women's football, which is such an inclusive and loving and supportive environment, and it's, we've made it like that because we are so accepting of everyone, regardless of who you identify as. And the fact that, a Supreme Court ruling, the Scottish FA, they won't have asked anyone. They won't have asked grassroots clubs. They won't have asked any football clubs their opinions. They've just gone, oh, well, that's what it says, so therefore it's black and white.
They won't have asked trans people.
They won't have asked trans people. And this is not a black and white issue at all. If anything, there is so much nuance, and it's ridiculous that anyone's tried to put a law on it, because I've got friends who are trans men and trans women, and all they want is to live happy and live
That's the other thing.
Trans men. That's
the other thing.
Yeah,
trans men, we're already having a situation where cis women who look masculine are getting challenged in women's toilets by people.
Yeah.
If trans men walk into women's toilets, what's going to happen? Like, it's horrifying to think of it. And the key thing, I think, I watched an interview. There was a clip that went viral of Dawn. I can't remember her name, but she's the MP for Brent. Dawn Taylor, possibly. But either way, one of the prominent left-wing Labour MPs, who was discussing this, and they were having the usual BBC politics talking heads, and they had someone from the government saying, we defend this. This is for women. This is etc. 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 And she just sat there and went, people should use their birth toilets, and that's how it works. And it makes women safer, etc. 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 Okay, what about trans men going into women's toilets?
Mm.
Who may be on hormone replacement, who may have had surgery of various kinds, top or bottom surgery, who may present as men.
Yeah.
And will walk in there because of this ruling, because they have no choice. And then they'll get told, you can't be in here, you're a man. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. Well, not according to the law. Oh, no. Oh, when we said we meant that we didn't, when we said we didn't want things, we didn't mean that we wanted people who look like men in women's toilets either. Because we're automatically going to assume they're all men. And that's protecting women. And it's like,
yeah, it gets to a point where the whole level is just ridiculous and actually hurts the people that they're trying to protect. It's nothing like that. So at the end of the day, this shouldn't even be an issue. Just let people be who they are. Let people play football if they want to. As long as no one is being hurt, that's fine. There shouldn't be an
like
issue.
you say, it's genuinely saddening for Emily to say, I've had more open abuse since the ruling.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had it. Now, I think we'd all fairly safely agree there is no way on God's green earth I could ever pass as a woman. At all. I am very obviously a man.
Yeah. I
have been accused of being transgender and all sorts by idiots because of the eyeshadow. Only very, very slightly. And usually when you turn around and go in a very deep male voice, go off. They kind of get the point. And I'm lucky because I'm, built like a brick outhouse and whatever else. But like you say, for trans women who now have to go into men's toilets, even though they will be, a lot of them are, female passing. What if some pissed up guy goes into a toilet, thinks, oh yeah, that's a girl, what's she doing in here? Right, I'll have this. And then you have the double problem if you have the attempted assault, and then if a guy is in that state and realizes that he's actually assaulted another man, you then have the gay panic thing happening, you have the trans panic thing happening. People get killed for this shit. And this is what's happening. It's putting trans people at risk of death while trying to protect women. And how can that be justified?
Yeah, it can't. It really, really can't. And we just hope that even if they, the Scottish FA have passed this, that there is rightful kickback. And hopefully if the English FA even think about passing a law like it, that there's even more uproar and that we all stand together in our community, because that's what we need. Trans women are women and trans men are men. And
Emily's saying that she can't use a men's toilet either by law. So brutally, but where's she supposed to go for a piss?
Yeah. Yeah, because all we want is for people to have the choice to play football or not. That's it. That's absolutely
play football as women, because trans women are women. Play football with other women.
Yeah.
And this all comes, like you say, it's fueling hysteria, and it all comes from the bullshit of people like J.K. Rowling, who are like, we can always tell. Can you? And that's where it comes from. And now people think they can always tell, and they think they have the right, because of this rule, to challenge people. And
it's empowering the wrong people to think that they can now play God, essentially. and have this moment. But yeah, we just wanted to kind of bring light to this to say, you know, we are all aware and we are completely against this, and we are in support of all of our transgender brothers and sisters in this, because it's an awful predicament to be in, and people are only making it harder for people to just live and be. And we're just quickly going to go through the last. I'm very aware of the time. The last thing, again, we'll talk about the Villa win again because we need to end on a high. This is Hull City women. And this is a really bizarre turn of events. So I'll just go through them really quickly. So previous first team manager and co-owner of Hull City Ladies, Daniel Johnson. And remember, Hull City Ladies aren't affiliated with the men's team, and Johnson owns 50% of the shares of the parent company. And last week, Tom Gary said in an article that Daniel Johnson, this chairman, had asked for the club to be relegated, apparently to try and punish his players for speaking out against him on social media. Okay, so he'd actually asked for relegation for the club. He has submitted a request for the Football Association to be relegated from the 3rd tier. So again, this isn't tier 10, 12, 15, somewhere obscure down the pyramid. This is still tier 3 football. Okay, we're talking about. And this is the Guardian have learnt from allegations of mismanagement of the club's finances being made against him by his own players, because apparently there's a black hole of at least £200,000 unaccounted for within the club's accounts from the past 5 seasons. Multiple sources have said Johnson's relegation submission is an attempt at retaliation after being publicly criticised. Players have expressed a fear that the team might not exist in a few weeks. So again, we're talking tier 3 football here, which is again horrendous. Today it's now come out that Daniel Johnson has been accused of multiple instances of aggressive behaviour that has left players scared of him, making inappropriate comments about sex, according to written testimony seen again by The Guardian. The letters submitted to the FA state that several players left because they did not wish to play under Johnson, and a number of the squad say they're going to look for a new club if Johnson stays. A group of sponsors said they were also withholding funding and would reconsider only if Johnson goes. So this is a huge, huge thing that's happening. The FA is understood to be in contact with Hull and offering advice on how the issues raised can be appropriately addressed. But sources at the club have said they are disappointed by the FA's level of involvement and are unhappy Johnson hasn't been suspended. So he is still chairman, co-owner. He's still in this position. And it speaks volumes that he is still in this role and still in charge. I know I've just put a load of information at you, but Chloe, I feel like I haven't asked your opinion in a while. People like that shouldn't be involved in women's football, should they?
No, absolutely not. And it just goes back to, it just kind of feels like going back to the basics. Like, if you can't behave yourself, don't turn up. Like, It's just, again, I don't even have the words for just how bad this situation is for, like, the players, for everyone involved. Like, it's just such an awful situation to be in. It's such a horrific situation to be in, because it's one of those where it's like, more needs to be done, more can be done, but what is the correct answer? Like, most women are even scared to report this type of thing for fear of not being believed. Like, we all saw what went down with, like, you know, Christian Horner and Red Bull, where he literally fired an employee for accusations, and you're worried that you won't be able to play the game you love because you've made, like, accusations, or you've come out and said something that's horrific that's going on and you're not believed, and that type of thing. And it's just such an awful situation, and you just really have to feel for everyone who's involved, because someone like that should just not be in power at all.
No. and have that much power when it comes to this, and abusing that power as well. So we will keep everyone updated, of course, on anything that unfolds there. But again, we wanted to bring this because, who else is going to champion the lower tiers if not us? So that's what we're here for. To bring these issues to the surface, get people talking, and hopefully make a difference. So we will just have a little recap on some of the good things of the week then. So Aston Villa won over Arsenal 5-2. Chelsea are officially WSL champions. Bayern Munich have also been crowned champions this week as well. We know Juventus from Italy. Liga FA have still got another 3 match days, I think, because they've got a 30 match day season. So yes, lots of leagues coming to a close, but like we said, we are going to be here live on Sunday for a live championship watch along. Currently me and Paul, and you never know, some of the people might join us. Chloe's going to drop in live from Anfield, and we're going to have a right old good soccer Saturday.
Oh, besties.
Oh yeah, go on.
I was just going to say I've got a little fun stat about Chelsea's win from friend of the pod, Adam Slater.
Hey.
Yes.
So this is the 3rd time in 4 seasons that a Chelsea win has come against Manchester United to win them the WSL title, and in 3 different stadiums: Kingsmeadow, Old Trafford, and now Lee Sport Village.
Ho, 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 ho.
Fun.
Wow.
That's a bit of a belting stat, that is.
Yeah.
From friend of the pod, Adam Slater. Or Salter.
Salter.
Well,
Salter, yes, good.
I
was thinking when he said Slater, I was like, that's not quite.
I can't read. I feel like we established that I can't read a couple of times.
Late on a Wednesday, it's all good.
Oh, Nessie.
I was going to say,
I happen to know Nessie is a London City fan as well. So,
yes, absolutely. Any reports? You can tweet me and Paul. You can tweet the pod. We'll see them. And yeah, any updates. So if anyone is out and about on Sunday, or indeed over the weekend, you know where we are. Please do keep us updated, because we love that view as well. Obviously, we can talk from our perspectives, but we love that fan perspective too. Now. I did have the brand new socials for you. However, when I save things as a PDF on my computer, it comes up sideways. So, so I won't share that with you. But we can say, Graham said, Frey loves a match beat. I do.
Hold on.
Oh, why's Paul that way? Hello.
I'll turn my camera sideways, and I thought I'd just see everything sideways, and apparently I'm upside down. So sorry if anyone's seasick.
Well, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share the... Oh, no, I can...
You turn your squad sideways. If you turn your screen sideways, does it go on else?
I was going to say, if I do my whole laptop, I'll be like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, next time, I promise you all I will have it. Because we now have 4 shows a week on the Absolute Football Podcast. Monday, we have the absolutely non-league show every Monday night at 8:30 with the fantastic Shah and the lovely non-league team. We've got the Absolute Premier League show on a Tuesday night. You've got us, the Women's Football show, on a Wednesday, and you've got absolutely Lower League on a Thursday. So 4 nights of your week you can come in.
Just say, I love how the non-league show appear to have like Scream 5 style graphics.
Sam, yay! Thank you.
and Sam's in there fixing it as well. But
and this is why we love our wonderful Sam. He helps us out. So yes, and we just need to give a massive shout out for Sam, who the graphics, that cartoon images, that everything, and it's going to be incredible. And as Sam rightly says, spoiler alert, everyone's getting the new graphics for next season.
I'm going full black eyeliner.
Do it.
Oh, for those, I am going to haunt people's dreams, like even more than I already haunt Mark Skinner's. I'm just going to
No, but we love it. So yeah, we're all getting a bit of an update for the new season, which we can't wait. So we know most of you have already liked, shared, subscribed, of course. However, you can come and find us if you haven't already on Twitter at Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube at the Absolute Football Podcast, Twitch is exactly the same, Absolute Football Podcast, TikTok, Absolute Football Pod. Instagram is exactly the same, Absolute Football Podcast with an underscore this time. Blue Sky at Absolute Football, and Facebook, the Absolute Football Podcast. And of course, we will be back here next Wednesday at 8:30 with all of the latest news that we can't wait to share with you. And we will know who has won the championship. So, Chloe, Paul, thank you very much for joining me. Chloe, where can people find more of you, please?
So I am on all socials. The handle is exactly the same, so it's quite easy to find at Chloe Bear 529 on everything.
On everything, wonderful. And Paul, thank you very much. If people would like to find more of you, please, where can you do so?
I am also the same on most things. Paul W Radio. You can add the Blue Sky tag thing. Although, again, I might have to start rebuilding that in the summer. And also I am Pucktistic with a weird underscore thing on Instagram as well. Although again, I don't post much on that because you see enough of my face on here, so you probably don't see it there as well.
But if you do, you know where to find you. And if you'd like to see more of me, I'm at T4AT Rights, usually tweeting about some football game across Europe somewhere. And yeah, or at the Whole Lunch 15 Yards for more general women's football content as well. So thank you very much, everyone. We know it's been a long one tonight, but we've covered so much. And remember to join me and Paul on Sunday. We'll keep you updated with the time, but kickoff for the games is 2:00. We're going to be doing a live Soccer Saturday watch along, so come and join us. But until then, thank you very much. Good evening and good night.